everybody out there, this is Popular Stranger. We are back at you again today with another MLB 16 The Show. Risers and fallers, this is an unexpected episode, guys. I wasn't aware of this news until earlier this morning, and maybe you are not yet at this point, but apparently the roster updates that we usually get every Monday are now going to be every single Friday going forward. So we have a huge update to go over. Again, if you're not aware, you can check it out in the roster update section on your console. You can also go to daddyleagues.com. I kind of stumbled upon this. I was just checking the marketplace earlier this morning before going to work just to see what was selling for what, who had upgrades on Inside Edge. And all of a sudden, I noticed that my Nolan Arenado card was a 96 overall, and I had to do a double take, a triple take. I went to daddyleagues.com, and sure enough, there it was. Nolan Arenado finally getting some respect. He's a 96 overall. They gave him huge increases to his power versus righties and lefties, and his plate discipline, which I think is definitely deserved. He's been getting walking a lot more this season. I'm very proud of him. He's becoming such a disciplined hitter. So three guys went from 93 to a 96. We're going to talk about them all. Hopefully I can find them all here right on my screen. So obviously Arenado was the first one. I'm trying to find him. There he is. Manny Machado, he goes +2 to a 96 overall. Now, apparently he's been playing some shortstop this year. I wasn't aware of that. I haven't really watched many Orioles games, so we might even see him get switched to a different position eventually. That'll be interesting to see. And then the third guy, if I can find him here, was Jose Altuve. He went +2 points, so we'll probably find him somewhere in this section. Is he right in front of me and I'm just not noticing it? I guess I'm just being blind right now. But anyway, Jose Altuve went from a 94 to a 96. A lot of upgrades, a lot of big time stars got changed around. So we're going to just kind of quickly go through the list, and then we will take a look at how it affected the marketplace. Brandon Drury, I watched him play a little bit for the Diamondbacks. He had a couple home runs against the Rockies in their recent series. Pretty good player. Look, he's got basically all of his hitting numbers, contact and power versus right and lefties. He goes +12 from a 63 to a 75. I mean, he's batting .308, 10 runs, 5 home runs, 11 runs batted in. Having a very, very good season so far. Juan Nicasio, a former Rocky, 3-3 record, 3.16 ERA. I think it's interesting that they gave him that much of an upgrade. I mean, he's having a fairly average season so far. Gregory Polanco, this is a guy that I think could be a really, really good card in the show eventually. He's just got a nice combination of speed. He's a really good fielder, and look at the contact versus righties. That went +10. His plate discipline went +10. He is an 81 overall. He's not too far off, guys, from being a gold card. Let's see if he continues to have a really, really good season, and we might even see him going up to a gold card. Taijuan Walker, pitcher for the Seattle Mariners, 2-1, 1.80 ERA, 30 innings pitched. Having a pretty good season. He goes from silver to gold, so he goes from an 81 all the way to an 85. His price has probably changed a ton on the marketplace. We'll have to take a look at that. Ryan Braun goes all the way up to a 90. He's getting close to diamond status, one of the better current left fielders in the game right now. He gets a nice boost to his power ratings and his contact versus righties, which is really good considering he's a right-handed batter. He gets that plus there. He's already crushing left-handers. Look at that. Contact versus lefties, a 90. So his contact versus righties makes him a dual threat no matter who's pitching against him. Michael Conforto having a great season so far for the New York Mets. 16 runs, 4 home runs, 18 runs batted in, 301 average. He's been absolutely on fire this past week. Good to see him get an upgrade. Xander Bogaerts, I'm kicking myself in the head for this one. If you missed it earlier this week, I dropped a video on how to make some stubs, and he was one of my 5 players featured. I sold all of my Xander Bogaerts. I got a bunch of them for about 500 stubs. Sold him for about 1,100 subs, and now he's going for almost 3K. I'm just kicking myself, guys. I didn't think he would go to a gold, but there he is. 87 overall, +10 to plate vision, +6 to his discipline. They gave him some boosts and speed there. He's got 5 stolen bases, 12 runs batted in. He's not a power guy, but he's very versatile. Good defensive guy, got some good speed. decent contact there, but you're not really going to hit any home runs with him. Neil Walker for the Mets, former Pirate, having a really good season. 9 home runs. He kind of cooled off. He was up there in the league leaders with home runs, but like I said, cooled off, but still having a pretty good season. Not the greatest average, 276, but you know, he's certainly deserving of an upgrade. He's all the way up to an 81. John Axford pitching pretty well for the Oakland A's. Travis Shaw is another one. Guys, I used this card in Battle Royale and hit a couple home runs with him. He's a very, very good hitter. 17 runs batted in, 3 home runs, 309 average. I like this card. I think he's going to make his way up into the 80s if he continues to play the way that he's playing. And then we got Trevor Story. They gave him some more boost to his power ratings. He goes to a +1 to a 77 overall. Let's go ahead and take a look at the marketplace here and see how some of these players were affected and talk about some of the other guys who got downgrades. So jumping on over to the marketplace, we didn't talk about the guys who got a downgrade, and we're going to go over a couple of them because this has caused their price to drop a lot. And some of these guys are proven superstars, so it's not impossible or illogical to think that they can turn it around. There's a lot of baseball to be played this season. Here's one of them, Andrew Miller. Earlier this morning, his card was selling for about 10K stubs, and now you can get him for about 7.5, even probably under 7 if you put in a buy now offer. He's a 91 overall. He only dropped down 1 from a 92 to a 91, and that happened to make his price go a difference about 3,000 stubs. So very substantial. He's a pretty good reliever. I had him on the squad for a little while, but that's one. Another pitcher is Sonny Gray, who's not having the greatest season for the A's. His price seems to have kind of stayed around the same. I think he was up in like the 11 to 12K, so he maybe dipped a little bit. But I don't think he's going to fall too much because the Oakland A's set isn't too difficult to complete, and he's really the most expensive card, him and Sean Doolittle. And even when Doolittle had a downgrade, you didn't really see his price drop. But Sonny Gray is definitely one to keep an eye on. Another card staying in the AL is Troy Tulowitzki. I mean, he goes from a diamond to a gold. It's weird seeing a gold card there with the diamond background. They'll have to get that corrected. This card dropped tremendously in price. I think it was going for 40 to 50K, almost cut in half now because of this downgrade. Personally, I don't think he's going to turn it around. I don't think he's going to get back to diamond level. He's just getting towards the end of his career. But if he does, this could be a great investment. If he makes it back to diamond, you could probably double your profits if you get this card. And again, it's also going to make a lot of sets cheaper. Sets that once were more expensive because of certain diamond cards might not be as expensive now. And Tulo with the Blue Jay set is one of them. Another pitcher, Dallas Keiko, again not having a great season so far. The Astros really aren't at all. But he goes down to an 88 overall from a 91, so pretty big decrease, and the price about cut in half. I remember trying to buy this card a couple weeks ago for about 10K, and I was unable to. Now he's way more affordable. Obviously, he's not going to perform as good on the field, but again, there's a lot of baseball to be played, a lot of time to turn things around. So I'm not going to go over the full list. I know there's some that I missed. I'll quickly read off some of the other ones that I didn't mention. Starling Marte went from a 86 to an 88. Kelvin Herrera went from a silver to gold 84 to an 85. Ikuma from the Mariners went backwards, 87 down to an 84. Adams Jones from the Orioles went from gold to silver. He went backwards, 86 to an 83. Honestly, I think that's a card. No, I haven't really watched much of the Orioles play. I mentioned that earlier. But this certainly could be a card to invest in. Look how cheap he is now. If he gets things going, if he turns it around, he could be back at gold and selling for 4 to 5K. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Patrick Corbin went down for the Arizona Diamondbacks from an 85 to an 82. So he lost his gold status. Alex Gordon, which I unfortunately invested in, not much, you know. He was a cheap card to begin with, but he goes from an 84 to an 81, so he's going backwards, not towards that gold status. And there's a bunch of other ones out there, guys. You can go check it out on daddyleagues.com. Sorry if I didn't go over every single one. This is a really huge upgrade. I do appreciate you guys for checking out this video on a Friday night. Good news about this change is that I'm probably going to be able to make prediction videos every Thursday now on what I think is going to happen. Bad news is I might miss some risers and fallers throughout the week just because Friday isn't as convenient as Monday is for me personally. But we'll see. Again, I appreciate you guys checking out this video. I know it's late in the night and this is how things just have to be with these videos. I'm Popular Stranger and I'm out. Peace!